All right, guys, let's see if this is going to work. I hope you guys have the ability to hear me right now. I am just going to check something out here real quick. There we are. Okay, excellent. You guys should be able to hear me right now. I am almost positive that we should be good. All right. Okay, let's try this again now. Let's go. Let's put this out to everybody else. Send this out to let everybody know I'm live here. Now, I apologize. I know I was just going into everything. So, if you guys could let me know to those who are um, want to go check things out, please let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. So that would be great. That would be great. All right. So let's go ahead and get moving on this. Yep. All right. So one of the things I'm going to do as well is I might play a background system here just to make sure that I can connect. Let's try this again. Alrighty. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, concerns, please, you can always just uh, let me know in the chat what's going on. I'm also going to, um, I was showing you guys in the last video, the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They're a trading software. You can actually get access to a free uh, what's the word I want to look for? A free simulation. If you guys are looking to learn how to trade and test your theories out, I'm always talking about that. So I'm going to post that in the chat here. You guys should be able to go in and connect to that. Let me make sure here. You guys should be able to hear me. Okay. Let's go ahead. And let's see if we can bring any of my cohorts in, any of the Moonrock core team. Sometimes they like to come and hop in and just hang out as I talk over the markets at large. Here you guys go. Let's see here real quick. So it's really interesting to see some of the news that's actually been happening within the markets. I've really been kind of amazed of like there's so many things going to zero, right? Like Three Arrows, Celsius. I know this sounds weird, but I like that, and the reason why I like that is because I think it's Kevin Leary that basically talks about how when you're in a when you're in here we are, and Kevin Leary was talking about, I think he was on CNBC, and I agree with him. I remember back in 2008 when you had a bunch of companies going out and they were basically falling apart, right? One of the things that I I thought was very interesting is that they were they were I don't know how to put it. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to try this one more time because I'm really trying to get this to work correctly so you guys can actually see me. And for whatever reason, my my camera is not working, and so I'm trying to get this to work. Hmm. Let's see if it'll work. Here we go. Still not gonna work. All right, here we go. Let's just jump right in and we'll kind of get going from here. So, apologize about that. So, let's go ahead and go into just the idea of what the markets are going to do. I put this in there for you guys to go check out. If you guys like this, go through and enjoy. So, here we are. So, it's basically explaining the movements of what's going on within this higher highs and higher lows and what was actually happening here. Um, it is some things that right now the market it's like I said, we saw some major projects going to zero. And back in 2008, we saw the same thing where we had watched a bunch of people go to zero. And this is good primarily because a lot of times that kind of gives a bottom. Now, are we done with this system going to zero? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more people that are going to, but I feel like as if we're definitely going to see more than usual though. Just because it is the beginning of a sector that is being created. And I think, and it was very interesting because I think it was Kevin Leary that had actually mentioned that basically said that the market at large is basically looking. There we go. So it's really interesting to sit there and look at a lot of these. So when I'm looking at a market, I'm definitely looking to see where my lows are going to be and where my highs are going to be, and maybe where retracements are going to come into, right? So right now, I could see is coming up into the highs right here, and then going and dropping back lower, right? Right now we're in the middle of the week, and so we've definitely went up from the first, and we put in higher highs and higher lows. Now, where is it going to stop? We don't know, but I know though that we got some really higher time frame SMA sitting above here. And additionally to that, we also have people that are looking to keep short. We don't know how highly leveraged many of these exchanges are, right? And I don't think we've seen the last of these exchanges fall apart. I think we're going to see more happening as crypto and the institutions know that as well, right? I know most likely the institutions are short crypto, but they are so shorting on, let's say, Pancake Swap or other exchanges. But then at the same time, as they're shorting, they're making money, they're taking their profits and putting it into the actual commodity itself, which is crypto, right? Because now the U.S. exchange or the U.S. government has named crypto more of commodities, right? So we can sit there and look at this as almost as a commodity or a cryptocurrency. So paying attention to that, we can play these highs and lows based off itself. Now, making sure that you do see some volume stepping in. We can sit here and we can see right here that we have volume stepping in as it's moving up, right? Even though the market itself isn't pushing up. So if that's happening, I'm typically going to just assume that this is going to push up. So then I look for a smaller time frame entry level, right, where I can actually put my stop is at, right? So let's go ahead and go right here into a smaller side. It looks like a bunch of spaghetti right here. So coming further, I'm trying to find what we're bouncing off. So you can see here that on the 50 moving average, we're bouncing off of this right here. So then on that 30-minute, you can see now everything's starting to kind of come together. Nothing's really trending, but it is starting to come together. So you can sit here and see now it's starting to, now you realize where you can sit there and trade. But we know that the higher time frames, we do have a lot of SMA sitting in this level right here, right? Looking at that 4, we see that we have SMA sitting right in this area right here. So we've got some on top here, but we've definitely been piercing them, and now we're looking to push up. So I would sit there and almost wait for a retracement back into this area maybe one more time and see it maybe push up even higher after maybe another retest. So we'll find out if this is. I don't think these are going to hold, primarily because we've pierced them and then it keeps pushing up. Whereas if they were going to hold, we would have seen lower highs and lower lows and a turnover, which something kind of looks like this right here. You saw pump, 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 boom, and then turns over. Comes and hits, turns over, right? Comes, pops, pop. We're playing ping pong, boom, drops over again, right? So we're seeing this now. The next level right here that I'm saying are these higher time frame SMAs that we're looking at, which is up here on the daily, weekly, and monthly, right? So I would look maybe to consider maybe a short-term rally up into these areas and then considering a short again. So, but right now we're putting in higher highs and higher lows, so making sure you understand that. In additionally to that, I'm also always kind of looking for some of the stuff that's going on to the market. So there we go. Let's see if this is going to work here to bring me on. Here we are. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go into a smaller time frame here. Let's go to that 5-minute right here and see if we can start to see maybe some start of a trend up. And look and behold, we do. We're starting to see a little trend up. Now we know we have some SMA sitting up in this area here, but they've been pierced. So you can definitely see us maybe start to look. Now you can see here that we are put in some buyer wicks here. So look to maybe gauge. And how far would this go? Probably, I would say, realistically, I would say maybe the 2050 from this level, from 016 on up. We can definitely see this maybe coming up to the 2600. So maybe even a little bit lower, just simply because what we're seeing in the market, we've got some SMA sitting in these levels, right? So being mindful of this up here. But you never know, when they come to this area, they could see it turn around. But I can at least see it coming up into here, and or in the those higher time frames. So here we go. We'll say right here. I'm trying to think, probably right. Right in this area right here, man. I go through and just check this area here for myself. It looks like a pretty strong area here. So I could see it's coming up into this area right here. That's just a strong area right here. So this 21,339 to 21 30 to 339. This area right here. It's a nice little strong area. So the rest of these areas here have already been messed with already, and the supply and demand zones are definitely showing weakness, where we can sit there and see price come through these areas and then just blow right through it. So just a quick analysis of that. So when you look at the market right here, you can definitely see us already starting to trend up. So paying attention to that. Also looking in movements also, like I always talk about, the market will rally, come back and retest, and then move up, right? We can see that here, right? The market dropped, put in a higher low, rallied, came back and retest, got more buying, pushed up, took out these sellers, put in a higher low, boom, retested again, pushed up, took out some more sellers, and now the next spot that we can sit there and see this is coming up to the 600 mark. So paying attention to that is something you guys would need to look at. Also making sure, seeing if buyers and seller wicks are stepping in, right? We do see buyer wicks kicking in here, but the biggest thing is this, is seeing how far it's going to go. So make sure, because we are going long in a short time uptrend, it's something to be mindful of, right? We can definitely see sellers stepping in and pushing it if they want to. So making sure you guys understand that, okay? All right, let's check out ETH here real quick. Pretty similar, like I was expecting, but you see here that we are hitting the 50 moving average. So let's check it out here real quick on the monthly. So you can see here we did have that touch here. Now we're having a sell-off off of this. So making sure that you're mindful of that. It did pierce it pretty well over that month, right? We came right up, we touched it. Now we have a little bit of a sell-off. Look at the weekly. We also have that 50 moving average sitting above here, guys. But look, most important, also paying attention that ETH has pierced this area. So we did not put in a lower low. Actually, we did put in a lower low. Boom, right here, it came down. But now we're pushing back up for another retest. Let's check out the daily. Daily similar, as we can sit there and see. But we do have the 50 moving average, or we have the 200 period moving average on that weekly, and the 50 sitting right above us. So making sure that we understand what is going on the higher time frames. Let's check out that 4 hour. That 4 hours, we can see we have a similar view than what we were watching on Bitcoin. We have a higher, we're putting in higher highs and higher lows, right? But you can see here that we definitely have this more of a consolidation period right here. So is it going to push through this 50 moving average? I don't know. We'll find out. But the biggest thing is this: you're trying to see if there is a trend moving up. Now you can sit here and see that we are putting higher lows, but not necessarily higher highs in this area right here. We definitely have consolidation period, and it definitely does look like I believe it's just called a triangle. Let's see if it's asymmetrical. Boom, boom. It's more like just a decent. It's more of an ascending triangle, right? There we go. Let's check it out real quick. Yeah, it's definitely a ascending triangle, but it's gonna break through this. That's the key, right? We'll find out what happens. Let's check. Let's go further into this. 200 is still looking about the same. But you can see here that we are starting to find support on that 50 period moving average here. We're bouncing off of that, bouncing off of that. Boom. So definitely on this 1 hour. So if you look at that, that should then relay to the 20 right here. You can sit here and see it's bouncing. So definitely bouncing off of this. We could see this thing push through. Coming in, boom, boom, boom. Definitely having higher highs on the 30-minute. We need to see more volume stepping in this level here to see us really push through to this, because you can see here how they're definitely putting in more sellers than buyers. You can see here and see, whereas the buyers are a lot less. So this looks like it could be a sucker's play on the Ethereum, here. because you can see they're coming up. But whereas ETH or whereas with Bitcoin, let's check out here. Yeah, you definitely see more of volume coming on Bitcoin. You can see that greens are higher in these areas, whereas Ethereum. So it looks like Ethereum might probably falter here, or just stay stagnant in between this ascending triangle here, just simply because there's not enough volume. It's the inverse of what Bitcoin is doing, right? Where we're seeing um, Ethereum having more red than green. So make sure you're paying attention to that. As you guys can see here, it's similar, but we are starting to trend. We are starting to move up. So yeah, just so you guys see, here it is. So that's it in a nutshell. Paying attention to that. As far as it can go, I would think that if it does continue up, we've got that 50 moving average sitting right here, and then that 200 moving average sitting right up in the 1200, 150, 1200. I personally think it's not going to push through to the 50. I think we're going to definitely see some type of sell-off up at the 50, but who knows, right? This is crypto. So I sit there. If it does go, I could see it coming up into this 1169 area here. So something to look at. There we go. Let's check it out. BNB. BNB is actually much stronger than many of the other babies here. Many of the other markets here, just simply because when you look at the monthly, it's just stronger. It's just stronger. So let's go ahead and look at this weekly chart here. Definitely have the oh yeah, that's how we do it. We need, give me 1 second. Let me pull up BNB here. Boom. We are starting to have a crossover right here on the monthly. So it's gonna be really interesting to see if we move up by next month. We might even come back up to this area right up in here and see it turn around. This will be interesting. As you have your 200 period moving average or 100 period moving average sitting on your weekly right here. So let's check out the daily here. Daily is showing strength. BNB showing strength on the daily, definitely. If we bust through this area here, I can see us coming up into the 256 mark. We are playing around with this 50 period moving average here on the daily. It's on top of that, you have that weekly 8 here. So something to be mindful of, just simply because that weekly and the daily 50 there are two strong areas. So making sure that you see that, so you're not going long into those areas. If we're going to hit those areas, we're definitely going to turn over here. So at least have some type of real reaction to it. It's not going to be just a slight hit and then push through. These are daily, weekly, and monthly areas. So being mindful of those. If you're not, you'll get destroyed. So yeah, we have this area here. Definitely putting in if we get through this area, this is going to be a consecutive higher high. So we'll find out. We'll see what's up. We will see what's going to go on there, but making sure we're paying attention to the daily. And here we are, the 4 hour. So you guys can see here and see that we are definitely having higher highs, higher lows. The SMAs are definitely above us. And we do have that 200 period moving average right above in the zone, almost in the zone, guys. So we're definitely going to have some type of reaction on that. You can see already that we're seeing the seller candle step in. So look for a retracement back down, maybe down into the lows right here, just simply because, or let's pull this up right here. Into this area right here. There we are. So this is a nice little area I can see it pull back down into. By this time, we would probably see the 20 period moving average up on this four, and or the maybe even the 89 based off of the movement. So if we have a strong push up and then come back down, these will probably be in the area of this demand zone. Paying attention to that. Let's do a quick analysis of it. There we are. And let's check. Yeah, so this is gonna be an interesting one. So I'm gonna mark this here, paying attention to it. Let's check on the daily here real quick to see where that sits. That's right at that low there. If anybody in the future is looking at me, it would be great if I could get the 8 hour on my trading view, or not the 8 hour on the coin market cap trading view. That would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right, guys. So this is what I'm looking at BNB. Now, again, you want to be looking for some type of trending where you can play and get look for supply and demand areas. If you use Bollinger Bands, you want to incorporate some type of trending movement up, right? So you can go back and place your stop underneath that, in addition to your moving or in addition to your demand and supply zones, right? The market is moving up here, so making sure we're paying attention where it might come back down to, where you can take part in this. Be ready maybe to even short from up in this area here, up in here to this area down in here. This is a nice little round, it's about 20 points off of BNB. Now, the key is also be looking for some type of bearish candle stepping in, right? You're not just going to sit there and go short or and long. You want to confirm that it's moving up, right? So however you use your confirmation on the trade. Oh, pardon me, guys. Get a little excited there. Um, as you see right here, you can definitely see that there are definitely more buyer wicks than seller wicks. So pay attention to that. Um, and additionally to that, uh, things are moving in the market. So because of that, make sure that you guys are paying attention to the buyer and seller wicks. You can see we definitely have more buyer wicks and seller wicks, but we don't necessarily have a seller wick right here or a buyer wick right here. So maybe wait for maybe a retracement of something coming back down. But look, you can see how that 8 is moving. If you guys like I'm actually thinking about taking another class with another guy. His skill set is really in Fibonacci's. If you know anybody who is good at Fibonacci's as well, I'm definitely looking to take a couple classes on it, just because it's something that I want to start messing with a little bit. I use them just primarily because I think a lot of other people use them. I don't use it to trade, but I like it when other traders are sitting there seeing the market a certain way, and so I like to use them in that junction with it. So if you know anybody who is, let me know who uses them a lot. Now, you guys can see here, now I'm going to jump to the 5 minute here real quick. You can sit here and see on that 5 minute that it is starting to push up, right? And like I said, out of all of the big coins, right, at BNB is easy the strongest one, right? It's above the 50 period moving average. It's just a strong coin, right? So, and let's check it here real quick. It's higher than everybody else's, right? Like here's the 50, not the 50. Where was that 50? Was it the monthly that I had looked at that we were? Yeah, here we go. It was the monthly on where we were above the 50 moving average, whereas all of the other coins are below that 50 period moving average. So this is why I say this is stronger than the other ones, simply because we see it working. We see it above the monthly chart here. So, but with that said, you want to make sure that you are in some type of trending moving up, right? And so as the market is moving, you want to see it maybe come back down here and then get in long, and you want a defined stop so that you can sit there and say, here I'm wrong, there I'm right? So that's, and the way you do it, I know everybody does it a bit different, but for myself, I do like to use the 8 and then kind of see what's going on. I like to line that up with some type of moving average for myself. But everybody's different, like I said, and I acknowledge that. Now, that's I want to be done with that here real quick. Let's go ahead and go into Matic. I love Matic, man. Matic, Poly. I think that these coins have got some great things going on. Let me pull up Matic. Now, many of the moon rockers know that I had been talking about Matic coming down to that 36 area, 36 to 31 area. Let me pull it up on the monthly. Oh, that's weird. Right in this area was where I was looking for originally, but now that we've actually come down here, I've actually had to change my stuff. But many of the moon rockers know that here we go. And I know, guys, I haven't been there to the AMAs lately. I just been so busy with a couple other stuff that I've been dealing with that I'm sorry for not being there on the AMAs. But like I said, I'm still part of the team, and we're still moving forward in many of stuff. So real quick, let me pull this up here. All right, so between here at the 36, 38 mark to about this 29 areas when I was talking about, it was actually the 31 area. I think it has to do with the weekly is really what I was looking at, I believe. Yeah, it was here. It was the weekly. So it's right in this area that I was looking at. That's why right here. Yeah, it was this 36 mark to the 31 area mark is where I was looking at to go long with Matic. Now, listen, I don't know what's going to hold here, but you can sit here and see that we're definitely hitting that 8 moving average on Matic right now. I don't know why I don't have that marked. It's weird. I'll mark these on my own, and it won't hold, which is really weird. So this area here is, we're going to see, it's pierced it a couple times. We know that this has actually tested this a couple times. So, but it's a weekly, a keyword weekly SMA. So this is strong. This is no joke. So we want to make sure that we respect that. If it starts to sell off from this area, you need to turn your bias around if you're day trading it, and you need to make sure that you are definitely going short with this, right? Because if you're not, very much could hurt you. Okay, so paying attention to that, right? Now let's check it out. Granted, we are having higher highs and higher lows. Let's pull up the daily. You can see higher high, or excuse me, lower high. Have a high, but not a higher high. We got close, and it took out a bunch of selling. We tested this 50 moving average, but we did not put in a lower low here. Because we didn't put a lower low, I'm definitely more bullish on Matic moving up even further up in here. So for you guys, if you're day trading this, pay attention to this 50 moving average, which is in conjunction to this 8. Okay, it's an important thing. If we start to see some sell-off, some real sell-off here, change your bias and go short. Okay, and so making sure that you understand that is really important. And that's on that daily. Let's go to that 4-hour. See here, guys. See how we're moving on. We're putting in some buyer wicks here. We're definitely not putting big seller wicks. But above here, though, I want to make sure you can see that there's not much that can hold it if we turn around. So if we turn around in this area, we're going below the 42 mark area. It might pause here, but we'll see what happens. Let me check this out here. At least take definitely profit at this level here if you're shorting. Definitely. This area right here, maybe if we start to sell off, these are some of the areas that I'm definitely looking for myself to actually capture profit. And then if we fall below here, the next spot that I see that I've marked here is this is on the this is the week, or this is the daily zone right here. So making sure that you guys understand that. Going through, and it will at least have some type of support step in. It may not even hold this, but I can definitely see us, like I said, coming further down into this area here. If after this area here, and if many of you maybe are wondering, like, why do I have colors, different colors? Because this area here we haven't traded through, whereas these we've traded through now. So I turned them to green, like a lighter green, whereas these are like more dark green, just for my own analysis. If we have, for me, it's like more like fresh zones versus zones that have actually been messed with. So this is it. Something to be paying attention to. I'm gonna go to that 2-hour mark here, as you guys can sit here and see. It is starting to stall here, but making sure that is are we having good reactions? Yeah, we're having fairly decent reactions off of this 8. So, but we are putting in higher lows here. So paying attention to this area here. It might hold. I don't know though. We'll find out. Which one is it respecting? I'm looking to gauge if I am going to go long, which way would I want to play off of. It's 89 on the 15, which would be the 2-hour. Yeah, so you can sit here and see the 8 and the 20 here are definitely becoming some type of support for Matic. So seeing this is real important, figuring that out. If you have a Bollinger Band that you're playing with, or if that's a Fibonacci retracement area to you, let me know in the comments, and let me know. I'd love to hear you guys' view. But yeah, I definitely am looking at this area as maybe some type of support. Here we go. Let's check out that 5-minute. Here we go. That 5-minute is starting to show some weakness here. So, like I said, we could see this area 51, area 5110. Oh, that's fun. 51, area 51. Hey, no. But the area here, I could definitely see is coming back to this area as a retracement, and see this at least do a little bounce. We're definitely starting to step in with that some selling pressure here. So we could definitely see it kind of shoot down here. Make sure that you guys know that and get it. Alrighty, I think that's about it, is what I put down with Matic. Did I say Sol? Let's check out Sol real quick. Yeah, I'm going to look at Sol here for just a moment. Thought I've marked this up. Here we are. Let's do a little bit more. We definitely are messing with this here. One of the things that to be mindful as well is if the market does start to rally hard, right, and we start to see it just cut through supply zones, okay, the monthly supply zones or demand zones will most likely, weekly or monthly, will most likely at least have some type of reaction. I very rarely, even if you have a ton of stuff where you have a ton of volume coming in, because remember, those are institutional junction points, right? And so you need to make sure you're mindful to the institution junction point SMAs, which is the 50, the 100, the 200. We know that. I like putting the 400 personally because I've seen it at least go through and bounce off of this so many times that you'd be silly not to actually have that on. So let's go ahead and go to that weekly for Sol. Sol, perfectly bounced off of that 8 moving average and literally sold right off. So we're definitely, if we do come back to this area, being mindful of Sol at that area. Now, mind you, they're just coming out with their new cell phone. So I absolutely love this price point. I could see it's come even further down, but you can see here and see that we are definitely playing off of this 8 moving average. So that weekly moving average, be mindful of, and wait for another retracement we might see. Now, point out, we did have a higher low last week, and we did put in a lower low also from last week. So you can see it. We might hit another higher low. If we put another higher low here and then a lower low, like again, guys, this is 3 weeks of higher lows or lower highs and lower lows, which is boop boop, right? So it could be telling you. They did come out with some great news though, that they're going to start being used by other providers for their blockchain as well as with their cell phone. So it's really going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with it. But this might be at least a decent area for you guys to go through. Now, for day trading, right, it's a different story. We're sitting there, we're looking. We want to capture the small movements within the market. So you guys can see here and see if this does consider this starts to drop. You can see here and see that we're playing off the 50 moving average here on that daily. Excuse me. Pardon. So you guys can sit there and see that we did bounce off in our area here, and we definitely did show some strength coming out of this. So yeah, that's a nice little area there. Making sure that if you do want to continue it, your movement up, make sure that you guys are mindful of this daily 50, because this daily 50 again is strong. It's strong like bull, and I'm pretty sure this is also where the Bollinger Bands are sitting, as well as where you're probably seeing some type of retracement mark for the Fibonacci's. So pay attention to that, okay? You could have a reaction. In addition to that, you also have a seller wick in all of those areas, so you can line those up. Let's go ahead and go to the 4-hour. Which one is it holding at? I would say maybe that 8 moving average is starting to hold on that 4-hour. We're already starting to see a lot of these SMAs starting to be below the moving averages or below price, right? So on a short time frame, we can definitely see this thing pop up to at least a 40 point here. So be mindful of that. We go into that 1 hour, boom, boom, boom. Similar that we see on the 2-hour. It's already starting to step in. Be mindful also though of higher time frames, right? So you want to make sure you're cutting through everything. So you guys can see that we're basically starting to follow this 89 pretty well. Pay attention to it. Maybe play the next time as it comes down into it that you would actually have your long place underneath for that short-term burst up to maybe that 400 or that 40 mark. And the 5, as you guys can see, we are starting to sell off, but we definitely are seeing some seller wicks up here. But you have more or less more buyer wicks stepping in down in this area, so there definitely is a buy area here. All right, guys. So in a nutshell, that's it. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry about the earlier part of the show. I was having hard difficulties trying to get this thing up and running. But either way, I want to say thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Many blessings. Bye. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, actually, one last thing. Tomorrow we are going to be having Brinks come back in. We're going to be going over some coins. And how to look at them, smaller coins, how to vet them, whether you're going on Matic, whether you're going on the Polygon, whether you're going on Sol Network or a few of the other ones, right? You want to make sure that Avalanche, you want to make sure that you're looking, right? This is important, right? At certain junctions. So as these coins are launching, these smaller coins are launching, their tokens that are launching off of these things. There's certain things, parameters you can be paying attention to so that you guys don't get scammed, okay? All right, so look forward to Brinks 82 coming tomorrow. It'll be fun. All right, guys, many blessings, and I'll see you again tomorrow around 12 o'clock.